Right, we're live.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, everyone. This is Doug Weirma. This is my new mate, Robert Murray. Is it Murray?
Hey.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly, so I'll just call you Robert. I want to welcome everybody to this Hangout. We're recording it, and you may be watching this because you're on Robert's list, or on Facebook, or on my list, or on Facebook. We're doing this as a joint venture. This is actually our very first time we've talked what we call across the pond. In fact, I was telling Robert that one of my visions is to bridge the pond, bridging the pond. 'Cause I'm a visionary. I come up with ideas. It's kind of like the dream, Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So I come up with ideas, and then what happens is, out of these ideas, I think we're hearing some. I think you might. Is that me talking to your speaker?
Yeah, hang on. Sorry.
I don't know if you have. I don't know if you have a headset or not.
No, you know what I had the website up where I put the live hangout on, and it's got about a 10-second delay. So you started talking about 10 seconds after. So.
Okay. I just was hearing my own voice and feedback. No problem, bud. Anyway, like I said, this is really raw, and we're going to be totally just honest and authentic. That's how I roll, and I've done a lot of Hangouts in the past, and the best Hangouts are the ones that we just speak from our heart. We're totally authentic, so you get a real sense of Robert and myself. It's like you're sitting there with us, whether you're in the UK or here in the States or wherever you are. We want you to feel really connected, like we're having a real conversation with you. And the most important thing, this is really about you. We want you to get some value from this discussion. And Robert and I just talked, and one of the things we want you to get a real clear message on is the value of attending live events, because we're a perfect example of it. This last Charlotte event, and this is generic, you could be with any company, you could be with any opportunity, but we're both happen to be with Empower Network, but this is probably true with whatever company you're with, so this is absolutely universal. When you go to events, what happens is there's nothing that beats face-to-face. So what happened with me, I'll just tell you my quick story with Charlotte. I've been with Empower Network pretty much since the beginning, and this was my 7th event. My first one was in San Diego. And to be honest with you, I was thinking, you know, I didn't go to the Seattle event. We had a regional event in Seattle, one in New Orleans, and I almost wasn't going to go. I thought to myself, well, I've been to 6 events. I'll just kind of like amp up and set a whole 90-day plan and go to the next event. You know, I'll wait. It's no big deal. And then what happened is I realized that one of the core commitments we have with Empower, Robert, we can talk about this, is to attend events. And sometimes you can think, well, I'll just let this one thing go. You know, part of the core events are to blog daily. Another is to, you know, read books, listen to Inner Circle, and one of them is to go to the events. And you can fool yourself. You can get into this little dialogue and think, well, I just won't go to this one event. It's no big deal. It's not going to make a difference. And you can begin to talk yourself out of it. And what I want to tell you, regardless of which company you're with, whether it's Empower or not, you have to be careful, because you can start talking yourself out of the business. You can start backsliding. You can go, oh, it's not a big deal. And we have a saying, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So you can begin to backslide. So I had to personally coach myself. I had to stop myself and go, wait a minute, I need to go to this event. So I booked the airline ticket. It was about $600. It was probably a lot more for Robert. My hotel, all my expenses, and plus I still have a JOB. I drive a big semi over the road, so I have my lost wages. I had a lot of expense to go to this event, but I decided to go anyway. Okay, so what you need to do when you have the voice that tells you, oh, you don't need to do this, it's not a big deal, you need to. Jack Canfield used to say, you have to say, okay, thank you for sharing, cancel, sweep it away, and refocus on the commitment. Okay. Now, I'm saying all of this, and I think Robert would agree, I'm saying all this to you because if I had not gone to this event, I wouldn't have met Robert. And then through Robert, I met Chris and Susan Beasley. Okay. Those Robert's meeting and Chris and Susan Beasley, for me, they say you never know where your next breakthrough is going to come. You never know who you need to meet. And Tony Rush has actually said this. I remember in Denver at one of the events, Tony Rush on stage, who's a $1 million earner, results not typical, shared income disclosure. But Tony said, it's just as important the conversations you have in the hallway and the people you meet as listening to the people on stage. Okay, yeah. So I want to acknowledge, Robert, that we just happened to sit next to each other, I think, at the bar. We didn't know each other, and we started chit-chatting. And I want to acknowledge Robert, and if you're on Robert's list or on Facebook, or you're watching this in some way, shape, or form, I want to give Robert some acknowledgement, because one of the things you have to do as a successful person, one of my mentors said, you have to learn to read people. Okay, and I watched one of Robert's videos the other day. Robert, I watched your videos, by the way. And Robert was saying something like, I've sent a lot of these DVDs out, but, I basically don't want, he didn't say these exact words. We used to have, don't be a wussy. I don't want any slackers. I want people that are only serious, and I'm only going to contact people that are really hungry and serious and really want this bad, because those are the kinds of people I want to surround myself with. So one of the things you need to do is you need to learn to read people. Okay, and so to be honest with you, I struck up a conversation with Robert. I didn't know who he was, but somehow we just started talking, and we had this synergy going back and forth, and I felt this connection, and he was the very first person I met in Charlotte. And I'll say this about Robert. As soon as I met him, I started talking to him, I haven't shared this with you, Robert, I felt like this connection is worth the trip. I don't know why or how, but this is worth the trip. And then what happened is I had seen Susan and Chris Beasley, who were, I think they're either the top or one of the top people in the UK and Empower. I had seen them, but to be honest with you, I'd never really connected with them. And so, Robert, I believe you introduced me to them, and we kind of had a casual conversation. And I thought it was really cool. But what happened, this is the most important thing I want to say, is you go to the event, okay, and then things happen, okay, and then while I was at the event, I was watching Robert. I was watching, from my hotel room. I saw these videos he was shooting. I was watching all the stuff he was posting. I was watching how he's in action. I thought, this dude is on fire. And even though this was my 7th event, I'm not sure, this might have been your first, I felt like, wow, this guy's on fire. This guy's an inspiration. Then we started talking some more, and he said he was an ex-professional, football player, and did that for 12 years. I thought, this is really cool. And then here's what happened. So you have the seed that's planted at the event, and you go to the event, you get all the value from the event, and then what happened after the event, I connected with, Susan and Chris Beasley, and they told me, I didn't realize it, they said, you were a catalyst for us. You gave us some inspiration. You lifted us up. I thought it was the other way around. Okay, so the point is, when you go, there's the benefit you get from actually making the commitment to go to the event. Then there's what you experience at the event, but then there's a ripple effect, that happens after the event. Okay, and that's what's happening now. This is our, first stone thrown across the pond. You know how you've ever thrown a stone across a pond, it skips across, and there's like a momentum that's created? So I had this idea, bridging the pond, bridging the distance, because I haven't been to the UK since 1978. I'll finish with this. I could talk on and on, Robert. I'm not shy with you on these hangouts. But I had this idea, I want to go to the UK someday. But it's been like, how many years? 32 plus 14, I don't know. It's been since 1978.
46.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And what I'm saying is, your thoughts are things, your desires. Deepak Chopra talks about how every idea starts with an intent. Every idea starts with a seed vibration. Everything, in fact, your thoughts, this is a little out there, but I'll just share this thing. It's pretty good value. It relates to what we're talking about. We think this physical world that we see is it, and we think our thoughts are it, but there's thoughts but then there's a gap, there's a silence between the thoughts, and then Deepak Chopra talks about that silence in between the thoughts is where all intelligence flows. That's where all the intelligence flows. And what happens is, like, I'll have this thought bridge across the pond, okay, that's a thought, it's an idea. I throw it out there, okay, and then what happens is there's silence. You wait, you receive, you'll get guidance, and then another idea will come, then you take an action. That's what we're doing. We're taking our very first action towards bridging the pond. So here's what I'd like to invite you to do. In this invitation from Robert, in this invitation from me, okay? If you like to have fun, if you like to travel, if you like to make money, and you like to grow, and you like to think outside the box, I even put on a note to Robert today, it's one thing to think outside the box. It's another thing to just forget the box even exists. Okay, so if you want to start just manifesting your dreams, you could start by watching this hangout, locking arms with Robert. You know, and this is the last thing I want to say about Robert. You can know how to do things. You can actually even have the desire to do things, but it's another thing to do things. When you take action, okay, the universe rewards you. You make the decision, consciousness makes the provision. Okay, so if you want to join forces with someone that is in it for the long haul, and someone has the fire in his belly, someone that you can lock arms with and know that you can trust him, Robert's the guy to do that, because I'm real selective on who I hang out with. Okay, I'm real selective on who am I even on these hangouts with, and that's why I'm here. And the last thing, we mentioned this before, we're not even really connected. Isn't that he's part of my downline or part of my group and vice versa? We actually don't benefit from each other financially. And that's the one thing you have to do, and this is the last thing, I'm like David Wood, this is the last thing I'm going to say, is that when you start thinking in terms of connecting versus just personal gain, what happens is magic happens. If all you're thinking about is what's in it for me, Mark Victor Hansen, who used to be one of my early mentors, used to say everybody's favorite radio station is what's in it for me, WIFM. But if you can put that aside and stop thinking about what's in it for me and start thinking about investing, like I'm willing to give Robert and you, if you're on Robert's team, everything I have, share everything I know, partner with him as though he's on my team. If it works reciprocal, he does the same for me. We create this energy, and it can be really, really magnetic. So I would invite you to listen to this conversation and really think in terms of, is this connecting to my heart? Is there something here? Even if you don't have all the answers to your questions, if it feels good, take it on to the next step. That's what this is all about. Anyway, I'll pass it over to you, Robert. That was a mouthful.
Wow, Doug, what a start! That's listen, guys. Doug's got amazing energy. This is why we connected in Charlotte. You know, we sat at the bar, we started chatting, and I think we spent the rest of that evening together. We ate some food, and every day then we hooked up in and around outside of the event, and you can see why, because Doug's got some amazing energy. Doug's got the experience. He's got the positive attitude that. It's drawn me to him, so it's reciprocal, Doug. And guys, if you're part of Doug's list, or if you're on Facebook, you've got to get involved with this guy. This guy has got such a heart. They talk about Dave Wood having a heart, and Doug, you remind me of Dave Wood. You are that you like his father figure, and you've got
I feel that way sometimes.
and listen, guys, we met there. We linked with other people, and as Doug says, that was my first event. I joined Empower a month before. I went all in. I then, booked my flight probably a week before. It cost me, I don't know, £1,500 and $2,000 plus the ticket plus the hotel. But I knew that decision was just going to change my life. And as Doug says, I don't think I slept for more than 3 hours in 3 or 4 days the whole time I was in Charlotte, because the energy and the excitement you get from that event is it's electrifying. And I was getting back to the hotel and staying up late shooting videos, getting up at 4 in the morning shooting videos, and that's what Doug's talking about. You know, they'd be on Facebook the next day. I know the one morning I woke up, it was pitch dark outside, like it is here now in the UK, and I was sat out the back of the hotel by the fire pit shooting videos to try and get up on Facebook just to let everyone else know my excitement levels about being in Charlotte with this amazing group of people, and you know, people like Doug, people like Chris and Susan. There's so many to mention who we met and who we networked with, and that is the difference. That is the key. You know, Doug and I have been speaking since I got back to the UK and since he got home. Doug works long hours like I do. You know, we both work on the road, daily grind, and we're fitting this in around our full-time job. You know, and we're not talking about a full-time 9 to 5 job. I know, Doug, you probably back me up, you're the same. I work 16, 18-hour days. And Doug, I'm sure you'll agree, you work long days. So, guys, you know, if you've got that determination, you've got that why, and you've got that want in you, you will find a way. And I know for me and Doug, we're talking about putting together some Google Hangouts on the road, aren't we, Doug? You know,
yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. I just want to laser something. If you don't mind, we can popcorn a little bit. I definitely don't want to interrupt your flow, but I want to popcorn this in. That I really, you know, you have to not only have your why, Robert, but I feel like you have to go for things that are fun. And one of the things I loved about you and on your posts on Facebook is that you're a guy that has fun, likes to have a good time. You're in the prime of your life. You're about ready to get married. Congratulations on that. And it's awesome. It's an awesome energy. So that's an element you can't underestimate. You can make money, but it's about also having fun. And this is a guy that likes to have fun. I want to be around people that like to have fun. Also, like Robert was saying, I do work about 16, 17, I don't know, I work a lot of hours. But I don't even think about it. If you work it, you know, I actually love everything I do. I feel like if you don't love what you do, get out of it. Do something else. And anyway, back to you, Robert. I just had to laser that in. I'm looking forward to our bridging the pond, and I want to invite some Americans, you up here from the States, that always dreamed about going to Europe, to bring them to Europe. And vice versa. If Robert, you happen to, through your list and Facebook, contact some people in the States, I'll work with them. I drive a truck all over the United States. I'll go through their city. I'll link up with them. I'll connect with them. If they're on your team, they're on my team. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And vice versa. We can bring some people from the UK, and I can definitely show them around. I know my way around. I don't know my way around the UK, but I know my way around the United States. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. So anyway, back to you. I had to throw that in. Sorry.
Fine. So yeah, anyway, going back to the event, and you know, it was my first event, so I probably would say I've been doing internet marketing for probably 4 years, but I've had a long gap away from it. So I got involved with Empower Network through a friend, and I was probably for the first month just tickling around with it, and something like Doug said, something just resonated in me that I had to be at that event. And you know, I spent a lot of money to be there. I take time off my job, and you know, I left my fiance here. She told me just to go and follow my dreams, or our dreams, and I know that it was the best decision I've ever made. And you know, the energy that I absorbed there has not only come back with me, but it's increased since I've got back. You know, linking arms with Doug and all these other people that I've met there. It's made me commit to this as a full-time business, which it is. And you know, even though I'm only part-time at the moment, I have my goals and I have my reasons why. And the reason is, as Doug said, I'm getting married in September in Las Vegas. So Doug, you know, I haven't invited you yet, but you're welcome to come.
My birthday's September 13th. My birthday's September 13th, oddly enough. What date are you getting married?
We're getting married on the 20th.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm all for that. We'll have to celebrate there. But go ahead, bro. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we're getting married in Vegas, and then we're off to Cancun for a week's holiday, and then as soon as we're married, we're trying for a baby. and my
Wow.
partner's already. We're having twins. So if anyone out there's got twins, in fact, no, don't message me how it is, because that may put me off. But you know, we're having twins, or that's what the plan is. And I then know that 9 months later, I will be working from home, where I am right now, full time. And that's what drives me. That's what, when I get home at 10 o'clock at night and I have another 2 hours worth of work to do, normal work, I then sit up till 2, 3 in the morning
Wow.
working on my dream. And this is my dream. My dream is to be at home every single day with my family, and to be able to work and be around them, and to help bring up my children. And you know, I'm passionate about that. My fiance knows I'm passionate about that. She doesn't really know what I'm doing. I'll be honest. She sits over my shoulder sometimes from through into the second lounge, and she she thinks I'm on Babe Station sometimes. I'm sure she does. But she's 100% behind me. You know, we would like to both go into positive mental attitude, speaking at events, and you know, sharing that PMA vibe, and you know, the secret and the power and all the things that Doug, I hear you talking about, Jack Canfield, and they're the kind of people we're into, and we listen to audios daily, part of the you know the Empower thing that we're supposed to be doing. But I've been doing that for years anyway, and we're both so massively into to bettering ourselves. But not only that, helping as many people as possible. We've held a few small group gatherings with friends where we've run little events, and we've given them books and audios. We've talked about how you can positively impact your life, and we love that. We absolutely love that feeling of helping people. And I think, you know, Doug, you are very much in the same sort of vein, and I keep talking about your heart, and that's why I'm like you. I'm very selective with who I hang out with, and who I talk with, and who I link arms with, and that for me is one of the things that resonated with me. Is you've got lots of the same attributes that I'm looking for, and I'm looking to put out to you people who are watching this. You know, if you're not in that mindset already, where you believe, you know, all the things that you want in life are there and they're available for you, and you don't have the right mindset, then, you know, link arms with Doug, link arms with me, and we'll help you. We'll help you and guide you, and we'll give you the right audios and the right books, and the right ways to think, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? And enjoy yourself along the way, as Doug says. You know, myself and my fiance, we're a little bit party animals, and we're either working or we're partying, and that's why we're getting married in Vegas, baby. Anyway, listen, before I rant too long, Doug, I'll hand back over to you, and yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, well, fantastic, Rob. I'll kind of play the host a little bit, even though we don't have anybody else on the panel but us. So I'll kind of be the monitor. I forgot the name. But anyway, yeah. You know, like I said, we want you to feel like you're really sitting here with us, and we're going to have some more conversations. I have had this vision. See, here's something I think Robert would agree with. There's kind of a Buddhist thing, it's a metaphysical thing. It's this idea that sometimes you're waiting for the right circumstances, when really you have the right circumstances in your life right now. Everything you think might be a negative can be a positive. In fact, there's always positive and negative. That we live in a world of duality. Okay, and instead of and I don't think I even told Robert this. I actually, Jack Canfield picked me out of a live audience when I was 28 to mentor with him. And I mentored personally with Jack Canfield for 3 years. I was a sound man. I recorded all his seminars. I was his massage therapist. I was on the sales team when I was only 28. And I spent 4 years with him, and I ended up spending another 4 years with all the who's who, Brian Tracy, all the best-selling authors and stuff. And how that came out of being is I had a girlfriend that committed suicide when I was 24, as I mentioned. That's why this UK thing's a link. And once she took her life, I didn't know anything about meditation, about visualization, about affirmations or positive, none of that stuff. But it rocked my world so much. I wanted to find out, how does the mind work? You know, how does consciousness work? And I kind of wanted to think outside normal, like religion and mainstream thinking. So that's when I started. You open yourself up. Oftentimes you can have a dark night of the soul experience like that that you think is real negative. and it rocks your world. And there's a part of me in my job that said, I'm leaving with or without you. I don't care if you want to stay in this job, but I'm checking out. I almost felt like my spirit was leaving. And that's when I sold everything and I went to Europe. And at that time I was doing the Transcendental Meditation. I went to Switzerland to see the Maharishi. I was really into, this is like years ago. But my point is, this all came into because of a desire. It was a desire to first understand myself. Okay, you have to know thyself. Okay, you have to desire to know yourself. And then what happens is you will draw the teachers to you. There's a saying, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. And that's what happened. For years and years and years, I was reading books, going to seminars, whatever. But then here's an interesting thing that happens and ties in with, I think, who Robert is, and also what the Empower Network is about. There's a point when you learn so much and you have a transformation, you become the teacher and the student. Okay, and you're so used to being the student, you want to learn, 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 learn. That's what I'm now almost 61 years old. And I realize there's a part of me that's like, hey dude, you got to start teaching some of this stuff. It can't die with you. Like Wayne Dyer talks about, you can't leave music inside of you. If you just learn all this stuff and you don't manifest anything and you don't teach anything and you don't pass it on, it's kind of a waste, you know? So I realize I've had a wake-up call that, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to start reaching out. I'm ready to start teaching. And I don't care how people are connected. We can all learn from each other. You know, there's something, if you're watching this, that you'll be able to learn from me, from Robert, from a combination of us in our future conversations that we have. And you can be a part of it. Just think, you could be watching this hangout that you got connected with through Facebook or YouTube or whatever. You could be living anywhere in the UK. You could be living anywhere in the United States and go, I don't know exactly what they're talking about, but I want to be a part of it. And contact either one of us. When you contact either one of us, you're contacting both of us. Okay? And you can climb on board. Okay? There's like a train leaving now. You know, have you ever seen a train where it's like they stop? Like I remember I took the six-week Euro train around Europe when I was there. And it was so cool. It was the first time I ever left the United States to go to like Paris and see this thing. Now I guess there's bullet trains and stuff, but back then they just had regular trains. And you go, oh, I want to go to Madrid today. And you just hop on the train, you go to Madrid, and you go there, and the weather's bad, and you go, oh, I want to go to Amsterdam. You just go to Amsterdam. And I did that for 6 solid weeks. And it was back then I thought, this is how I want to live. I just don't want to be tied down anywhere. I want to travel. I want to meet people. I want to have conversations. And that seed was planted now, gosh, how many years ago? But it's still there. Okay? So now that when a lot of the friends I have are much younger than me, I feel it's my responsibility, my respondability to be able to inspire you. And what I really love about Empower is there's so many young people in Empower that are just so extraordinary. There's people that are coming into our business from like Europe that English is their second language, and their country they only take 10% of the country take credit cards, and they have all these barriers, but they don't let the barriers stop them. And some of these people are like 20 and 30 years younger than I am, and it's so cool that we can kind of bridge it's like the generation gap. We can come together and combine our resources. I have found that sometimes I think to myself, if only I knew this stuff, only if I could be 20 again, or if only I could be 30 again with the internet, with technology today. Okay, that's like a limiting belief. It's like, if only for me, I'm not 20 or 30 anymore, and God, I missed the boat, and I get into all this negative talk. But here's what you have to do. Even I do that. What you have to do is go, stop. Fortunately, I've had a good facilitator in Jack Canfield, so I can almost hear him facilitating me. Jack will say, okay, that's all cool. Let's say you were 25 or 30 now, and let's say you had the technology now. Let's say you had Robert right here, and Chris and Susan and Dave Wood. Dave Wood's my direct sponsor, by the way. He's like, I can't get him he's a great mentor. But the thing is, because he's Dave Wood, I don't ever talk to him. He mentioned, remember at the private meeting, he mentioned me, handing out DVDs. I'm on his radar screen. But it's kind of funny. I go through this stuff, and I don't have Dave right here to facilitate. I have Jack and Dave. They're kind of there, but they're kind of intangibly there, so I have to stop myself. And Jack Canfield would say, okay, that's all cool. But let's say you were 20 or 30, and you had this. What would you do? Well, this is what I would do. Well, do it. It's just a state of mind. Pretend that you're 20 or 30 again. It's just a number. You can still have the same energy, the same enthusiasm. Just put that stuff out there. Do it now. Do it as if. Be a 20-year-old. Be a 25-year-old. Be a 30. Just choose, boom, do it. You don't have to, well, I'm a 60-year-old guy. I don't have any energy. I'm going to be in a rest home soon, man. Why even try? You just can't. You can't do that. So part of what I love about the Empower Network, you have great friends that even they're not connected to you, they call you on your shit. And they'll call, and they do it with, with love. Like you'll have friends that say, well, it looks like you're not taking enough action. That's the problem. And you can go, well, yeah, but blah, blah. No, look, dude, when was the last time you did IPA, income producing activity? Wow, gosh, I can't even remember the last time I did one of those. Well, why do you think you're not getting any results? You've got to do your income producing activities every day. So sometimes you can just get disillusioned at any level. Even the leaders have challenges. Like Tracy Walker, for example, she said, oh, man, I'm stuck at $50,000 a month. I can't get past that. I just can't get past that barrier. And some people, you can be thinking in the audience, well, gosh, if I was making $50,000 a month. There's always another level. So don't have the illusion that you ever arrive somewhere. It's always an ongoing process, and you're always, no matter what level you're at, we all are going through the same stuff. I'll just share this one story. I could talk for hours because I've had this stuff. When I'm driving in the truck, I'm sometimes having these silent conversations. I turn off the radio, I turn off satellite, and I'll drive for like 10 hours. I'm just like having these silent conversations. Blah, 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 da, 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 da. I'm psyching myself all up in the truck, So that's one of the reasons I wanted to hook up with Robert, is to be able, I'm in the middle of nowhere, Robert. What's going on with you? Well, I'm in the middle of London or wherever. What's going on? What's going on? Well, I have just had this incredible realization, and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and I can just scream at the top of my lungs, I'm mad as hell, and I can't take it anymore. I can just do kind of really crazy stuff, and that's one of the things you have to do is be entertaining, be different, be yourself. If you're a little crazy, be a little crazy. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's why we're doing this. We're really doing this not just for ourselves. We're doing this for you. Okay? That's what it's about. I don't know who you are. That's what's cool about technology. I just had someone the other day, I won't mention her name, actually last night. I turned down my computer, and my smartphone went off, and somebody I don't even know saw something on Facebook, saw some of my posts, and she was like, I saw your video, and you're so inspiring. I just want to join. Whatever you have, whatever you're doing, I want to be a part of it. I don't even think she knows what I'm doing. And that's the thing. That's the way you can be. If you're just yourself, sometimes people, they don't even know what you're doing, but they want to be a part of it. We think we have to go through all the details. This is the company. This is the comp plan. This is how it works. This is how da 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 da. But oftentimes it's just people they want to connect with you. So that's the most important thing. People buy you and not the product. Okay? Yeah. So by watching this, if you feel some affinity with us, the train's leaving the station, you can be on the train with us, or the plane, or the Concorde, or whatever. I guess we can't take a train across the Atlantic, but I guess we'll have to take a plane. But who knows? I had one of our. I have to say this thing that was really inspiring at the last event. You heard it, Robert. When that one fella, he was saying, "Well, when I bring people next time I'm going to fly a private plane with 300 of my teammates, you know?
Yeah.
And there's no limitations. We can do the same thing. You can't, it's important not to think, well, wow, he's just out of my league, man. That's way big. That's too big. We can do the same thing. It's just a decision away. This bridge across the pond idea, we can take it as far as we want to. It can be as big as you want. It's, you know, and it takes one person after another, after another, after another, after another, of just locking arms, like Robert says. But you can't be a wussy. You can be a little bit of a wussy, but you have to have a little bit of desire. You have to come to Robert and say, I don't understand what you guys are doing, and I have these weird limiting beliefs, but I have this desire to do this. I'm here, but I don't want to be here anymore. Can you help me? And that's what you take the first step. And
Doug,
what's that?
Sorry, Doug. I just wanted to feedback on what you're saying there about, you know.
Yeah, jump in, bud.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about taking action, guys, isn't it? You know, if you're watching this, you're watching it for a reason. And, you know, if there's something that Doug or I have said and it resonates with you, as Doug says, you know, you should be contacting Doug, PM messaging him on YouTube, on Facebook, you know, and just asking him, picking his brains. A lot of the stuff Doug's telling you tonight is new to me. I mean, I'm going to be asking Doug a million questions now, because I now know that he's linked arms with Jack Canfield, one of my favourite authors, and some of the other people he was mentioning. Now, you know, if you need some help and you know that there's something better out there, or you want to change your life, or you want more holidays, or whatever it is, take action. Just, you know, we're human beings. We're the same as you, and we're just a bit further along the road. As Doug just said, there was people at the event who are a lot further along that road than we are. And if we just model what they've done, we can get the same successes as they got. But the big but is the caveat. You've got to take action, guys. Yeah, you've got to take action. That's what Doug and I did from the moment we were at the bar together. We took action by communicating with each other. We could have quite easily had a 5-second conversation and then just said, right, I've got to go, and moved on. But we didn't. We took action. We made sure we communicated. And even today, if you think about today, Doug and I had no real plan. We had a plan about, Doug told me about the over the pond, and I was like, love it, want to do it. And I had appointments, Doug was busy, and we threw this together today, even up to 5 minutes before we put the recording together. We didn't know, we hadn't used the Google Hangout properly. I was trying to set up this Google Hangout on. And even at the beginning of this video, if you've watched it from the beginning, you'll see that as Doug starts talking, my video is playing in the background because I've just set it up. But listen, this is.
And I hope it's being recorded. This has been a great hangout. I hope and pray that when we turn this off, we figure out a way to record this, because I hate to lose all this.
Oh my God, yeah. But you know, coming back to exactly what I'm talking about is taking action. We took action today, and I went out. I left here at 5 o'clock UK time. I went out to an appointment about an hour away. I got back here at 9:15. I grabbed a snack whilst I was trying to set up the web page, whilst me and Doug were communicating over Skype. But it's exciting. You know, I love this. I love the excitement from taking the action, getting the rewards, and getting that feeling of knowing that we may be able to help one of you. That's what makes me tick. That's the buzz. And I know Doug. I know that Doug's got the same kind of feeling. If we can help one of you, then it makes both of us feel good. And as Doug's already said, you're going to get the two of us. You're going to get a combined effort of a mixed blend of UK, America, PMA, Jack Canfield, Secret. You name it. You're going to get a lot. And you know, we're available to talk to 24 hours a day. Doug's like I am. He's always got his phone with him, and we're both communicating on the go. We haven't stopped our jobs to try and gamble and risk everything. That's an action probably too far, but we just make sure that every single day we take action and we get excited about our business, because it's 11:15 in the UK here. Doug's, you know, a little bit more in the afternoon, but it's pitch dark outside. I can see my beautiful LED light shining, and you know, most other people would be in bed right now, or they'll be on the settee watching TV. And you know what? I don't knock that. I really don't. That's everyone's choice. But if you want something more, if you feel like you can get something more, or you want help with getting something more, then link arms with us. You know, give us a call, Skype us, message us on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever forum you need to get hold of us on. Then just contact us. You know, pick our brains, because we may know something you don't know. You may know something that we would like to know. And you know what? I'll ask you, and I know Doug will as well. But it's all about taking that action. If there's a link around here on the page that you're looking at, click on it. You know, link arms with us, or go and find us both on Facebook. Friend request us. We're both on there all the time. Check us out. Do your due diligence. You know, go and have a look and see what we're all about, because we're a couple of fun guys. We've met in the oddest circumstances, well, not odd, but in the strangest circumstances over in America, and this is now gonna go on leaps and bounds, Doug. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. How much more time can you chat? How much more time are you winding down?
5-10 minutes, Doug, and then I think we'll call it a day. We don't want to kill people.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of funny because usually we try to keep our hangouts to about an hour. But to tell you the truth, I kind of have a mixture of Dave in me, because sometimes Dave is different. Like, you know, a lot of the sizzle calls, they're structured. They have to be like 20 minutes long, and you know. But Dave, what I love about Dave and his structure is sometimes he'll go on for like 2 or 3 hours, and yeah, people will leave, but he'll just go on until he feels like he's complete. and I see some of the hangouts that we have with the leaders, it's like 2 and 3 hours. The last hangout we had for the All In, by the way, I want to mention this. The last I don't know if did you see all the All In hangout yet in completion, start to finish?
Yeah.
I thought it was really awesome.
49.
Yeah, I thought that was totally awesome. And to me, even that hangout that we saw just the other day, I was coming home. I missed the beginning of it, but I watched it. I thought Dave was really relaxed. I thought the leaders were really relaxed. It just felt like they were in our living room. And I watched that, and I thought that was even worth going all in for. You know, there's a certain energy that they project once you get it inside of you, you go, wow, that was worth it. So that's what I want to plan to see. I don't know what all the details, but my vision, I'll just leave this hangout with a vision. My vision is to bring some of you who may be watching this in the United States who have never traveled internationally to come with me to Europe and be able to see Robert in his home country, be there in UK, see Chris and Susan, and be able to have that experience. I can tell you that for me, international travel and I have to remind myself it's the same for Robert. He's coming over to the States, and the States I have an accent to him. To us, he has an English accent. To them, we have an accent. You know, and when they come here, it's foreign to them. This is a new country to them. So it kind of it opens up your whole psyche, and once you do it, once you experience that, you go, wow, I want more of this. I want to be able to lock arms and connect with people from all over the world, and that's exactly what you can do here. So you may, who knows, this might even find, we've been talking about the UK and the US, but you might be watching this from Portugal or Spain or France or Australia. You never know how people are going to get connected. That's the beauty of the internet, is we don't even know where you are. You could be in a little tiny place in Africa. You could be in South America. You could be in the Amazon somewhere watching this and know how to speak English and go, wow, this is really cool. So it really doesn't matter where you are. Just go ahead, like Robert said, if there's some type of link around here and you're ready to jump in, click it, contact us, get in touch. That's where it all begins. That's where it all starts. That's a little micro action. You know, it might not seem like a big action, but if you don't do that, if you don't contact us, here's what happens. Oftentimes, you forget. You go back to your busy life, and that seed, that desire, that feeling you have now kind of dissipates. Before you know it, you're right back in the busyness of life, and you forget about it. So if you feel that feeling right now, no matter what time it is, just look us up on Facebook. You know, contact us. Say, hey, I watched this hangout. I loved it. Can you tell me more? Or contact me, or add me as a friend. Just take some type of little action. Start the process, and that can be your first step. That's what it's all about. And like Robert said today, you know, I had a lot of stuff going on, and we were talking back and forth, and we were like, well, I told Robert, I like to just do things intuitively. I don't like to draw out a lot of notes and stuff. I just like to show up and speak into the listening of you, listening to the office. That's what I learned from Jack Canfield. He would have notes of exactly what he was going to do, but he said you got to take all the methodologies and all the notes. You have to kind of know it on the conscious level what you're doing, but then you have to put those all aside, and you have to speak into the listening of the audience, to speak from your heart, to tap in. Know that all that information's there. That's cool, but you have to be able to speak into the listening of the audience. Speak. So that's what I'm doing right now. That's what Robert has been doing now. We hope that we've been speaking to your heart, speaking to your listening, speaking something that we've said during this hangout has woken something up inside of you to go, this is what I've been looking for. I feel home here. I'm going to take the next step. Okay, so back to you, Robert. I'll let you finish up. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, listen, you know, I don't know where you are right now watching this, as Doug said. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what your dreams and your aspirations are, but you've got to take action. And, you know, I know for years and years I wasted money online, I wasted time and energy and effort, but it was all to get me to this place where I am right now, and to be in the company that I'm in right now with great people like Doug, and being in and around, you know, some amazing leaders in our industry. It is the right time, and as Doug said, that train is at the station right now, and for me, my passion is to help 10 people who I can personally connect with and touch, and, you know, just cajole to be able to get success in whatever they want to do, whether it's earning lots of money, whether it's changing their attitude, whether it's, you know, their psyche, whatever it is. I want to be able to help 10 people over the next 3 months, and that may be you. If it's not, that's fine, but, you know, we would love to work with you and to help you, and if we can do that with, for me, 10 people, then I know the feeling I'll get when we go to Orlando in October, which we'd love all of you who are watching this to be with us in Orlando. That's the next event, end of October, and any single one of you sat there right now watching could be there. You could be there linking arms with us, having a beer, and meeting some of these. You could start your own story. You know, me and Doug, we're starting our own little over the pond story. You may start your own story with someone you meet there at a random event or a random meeting at a bar or having some lunch. You know, I challenge you to be at the October event in Orlando and link arms with Doug and myself, and let's have a great big team of us there, having a meal out one night, and you know, going out and having a few drinks, because that would be amazing. Having the UK and American, you know, team bonding, and, you know, that for me, that would give me so much joy, so much pleasure, and, you know, maybe Doug and I might even buy you a beer.
Well, do you know something that something to put out there that often we do is we just rent a big condo or rent a big place. Sometimes, if there's several people coming over, instead of just getting, you know, your individual hotel rooms, what people have been doing is, you know, renting a limo, you know, getting a nice big condo or a house together, and that way you have a big kitchen and party and have fun and shoot videos, because that's the other thing, is you have to be able to take advantage of the event, shoot a lot of videos, you know, really who was it that, I think it was Jordan Schultz that I saw, that you probably heard the same thing. They said that the number one thing that he realized that people really want, regardless, is lifestyle, you know, is fun. Is you have to include that in your video. So there's not a better place to do that than the events. So you can be a part of that. We can shoot videos. And then you can be a part of these Hangouts. We've only got 2 of us on these Hangouts now, but you could actually be a part of the Hangout. We can have a panel. Usually, sometimes we have like 4 or 5 people on, so you could be one of the next persons on this Hangout. And you could tell us, you could tell the audience on the Hangout, wow, I saw these crazy guys talking, and because of that, I took action, and now I'm on this Hangout, you know, going after my dreams. And that gives us inspiration because there could be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we know that we created this Hangout, and the panelists on the Hangout, one of them could be you. All you have to do is step up to the plate, take action, and you could be here with us, sharing the vision and be a part of it. Not just on the sideline, but you could actually be in the game. You could be right up here with us. So that's what I want to invite you to do. So anyway, Robert, that's all I have to say. I think we did pretty good. Now let's hope that this first Hangout, we do have it recorded.
Yeah, fingers crossed, Doug. Fingers crossed. Well, listen, I'm going to sign off as well. Thanks for attending, guys. Really, 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 really appreciate you taking the time out and listening to us crazy guys here. You know, and we'll be doing lots more of these, lots more impromptu stuff, and we'll be doing some amazing trainings as well. We've got some great, I know I've got some great YouTube SEO techniques. We've got some Facebook techniques. We're going to be giving you loads and loads of content as well between the 2 of us, and loads of Jack Canfield PMA type stuff, which I'm so keen to get Doug to do lots more of that. So, guys, I think we're going to sign off for the night. Have a good one.
Let's